All right, we're up and running. I think I forgot to retweet. Yeah, I forgot to retweet on Blue Sky. 1 second. There we go. How we doing, Internet? Doing some Vampire Survivors. Or, we do the Archipelago, a bingo. We do something tonight. Something. Depends on what time I got done this week, because I know he's been working on Shadow Generation stuff, so. It will be a thing. We're gonna jump away unlocking the secret stuff. I'll have to grind out money hard for it, but we'll at least get the secret stuff. Don't mind me, I'm double checking information real quick. Oh, okay, never mind. Duplicator and Skullomania. Oh, hands the boss a little bit. Well, at least that's the boss down. Sorry, folks. Well, feeling a little tired tonight for some reason. Hey, Double Spidey. Nice. Oh, that sucks to hear. Ah. Oh. That sucks. I remember where the door was. Oh, card. Nice. Really good. No, we're basically going to be there's not going to be any real Switch news until April, I would think, unless somebody leaks something, which granted, there is the copium for the Silk Song folks that is going around at the moment. Like the hardest of hardest copiums I've ever seen. But apparently, one of I think the co-founders of Team Cherry, I believe, changed their Twitter profile and stuff to this chocolate cake that the image itself, if you reverse Google image search it, is specifically dated for April 2nd. And a tweet they put out at the same time also is associated with the date April 2nd. So people have taken this as, Silk Song news at the Direct? And I'm like, this is copium. This is the highest level of copium I've ever seen. I am so sorry your game has been sent to the void for an eternity. But I don't think you should put, like, this much hope into random-ass bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong. If this is legitimate, and that Switch 2 Direct is like, hey, here's Silk Song running on the Switch 2. By the way, here's a date, or even insaner. Here's it shadow dropped on Switch 1, like right now. Like, that would be insane. I'm pretty sure that would make the Direct for, like, everybody. And anybody. But I'm also like, this is not happening. Oh, I just walked right past it. I'm gonna sit here and just grind out coins because I need the money. But yeah, I would not expect anything like Nintendo until like closer to April at this point. Yes. It's not at the moment, it is coming. I'll see if I can find their official post. Where was their press release? Okay. They basically put out a press release. The basics of the trading is you have to be done between people on your friends list. It has to be cards of the same rarity that you're trading. So equivalency there. when it launches, certain cards from both booster packs will be tradable. You can only trade cards from the 1 to 4 diamond rarity and then the 1-star rarity. So basically nothing above like 1-star rarity can be traded. So, which is all like the really fancy alt arts and stuff that you can't trade for. And an item will be consumed on trade. So you have to like burn an item to... they didn't specify, they just said a currency will be needed. And that was it. Which I think, like, some folks that are, like, data mining and, like, leaking and stuff, like, basically said the same information, like, a while back. So I assume it'll just be a new currency. I mean, as long as I can, like, fill in some holes, some annoying holes that I have, because I think some of the cards I'm missing in terms of, like, the main set, not necessarily all the alt arts and stuff, fall into that rarity category, like, that's fine. I'm not too beat up about this. It's kind of what I would expect. Sleeping, mostly. So it's one of those days where I sleep a lot. I do have a job fair to go to tomorrow. I have technically never been to a job fair, so this will be a first. I'm sure it will go as well as every other interview I've had in the last like 3 months. I don't sound very confident about it. You haven't been listening to the streams for very long. Ah, son of a bitch. Where is the... Look, it's a place I've applied to before several times over, and also a place that their website to apply to doesn't work right now for some godforsaken reason. So, yeah, I don't have the highest, so... Well, at least an interview you're going to have is scheduled. An interview I was supposed to have simply just isn't happening, I guess, because of reasons outside of the company's control. And I guess I'm just never going to hear from them, which, that's fair. I'm used to that at this point. Look, the only thing I'm ready for Monday is the Discotheque's live stream. When they do new releases and stuff. Anything else happening Monday, I don't give a shit about because I have no interest. Discotheque's announcing like it has like 25 things that they're like showcasing in their live stream Monday, and I'm like, you know what? I always come away from their live streams with one thing. I really need a candy box to drop. Like now? Because I would like to get this secret. And I need two familiar forges on this character to get it. Oh god, I am not outputting enough damage. That's not good. Probably should have went with a tractor, but it's fine. Thank God. The bottom. Where is Familiar Forge? Why do I not see it? That's not good. I might have screwed this up. It's fine. I'll probably just dump this one with the code. I'm not too picky about using the codes for secrets. Oops. I ended up in the Legion fight. Oops. I didn't mean to go into the Legion fight. Apparently, the new Gundam show screening for its like first episode or something is out. So people are talking spoilers for it. All I know is that it's got probably the weirdest name I've seen for a Gundam show ever. hitting him? I'm hitting him now. There we go. Yeah, I screwed this up somehow. Well, at least I got coinage out of it. That's the big thing. Somebody posting the tweet about, I would like a final form that debuts in the late 30s and a form that shows up in the final episode to sell a toy that's just the base form. And I'm like, they're gonna do it again. They're probably gonna do it again. When the gimmick is cheap, they can do it again. I was about to say, I couldn't even properly see the cat to get the hell out of there. And I see if we reach the point where the Reaper is superimposing, trying to get in on us and can't. Oops. Feel too strong. I do believe there are now multiple Reapers that are superpositioning around me. And they cannot get in at all. Yeah, they just can't get in. They cannot touch me. I love when I stumble into builds like this. Just for reference, the Reaper's health is dependent upon my level. I forget the exact equation, but basically, the higher level you are, the more stupid amounts of health the Reaper has. Because that's how it works. That's why low-level, high-damage builds are like one of your options to kill the Reaper. Nothing I didn't say yesterday at the moment. Like I said, we're kind of in the, everyone was just talking about what the Switch was rather than what's on the Switch leading into, like, the Direct. Yes. I don't know. I don't remember. I believe it's like the fire book, the fire spell book, but yes, the fire dragons are mine. And so is the skull. And the turtle shield with wings. And the tornado. And, something else. The Reapers are not mine. They're trying to kill me. They are failing miserably. But yeah, now we're in kind of like a lull territory. I might try to find the Reddit thread that kind of like detailed where everybody was at. But it's like a few months old, so it's not like going to be the most accurate information. Well, all they got to do is touch me, and they're not doing that. Just bear in mind, there are several of them. And they are teleporting around me. They are not just moving, they are teleporting. Also, that tells you how many are on screen. There's 8 of them. Since I froze time for a second. There are 8 of them teleporting around me, trying to touch me, and cannot touch me. I'm pretty sure I'm going to max out at this point. Let me see if I can find that Reddit thread while I'm sitting here. Because there was another thing I was going to talk about since you asked me about Monday. And I might as well promote it because I'll be listening to someone else's stream that's going to, like, react to it. Oh, I am here, of course. What? Pirate software controversy? Because I don't know. Oh. Oh no. How terrible. To be perfectly honest, I was expecting, since you said controversy, I was expecting something, you know, oh, they finally got me. You know what? I'm gonna burn my revives. Okay, yeah, they're killing me. I don't know if I would call that controversy other than, oh, well, shit happened, I guess, on stream. Some people would call that content. Ah, okay. Now you're getting to the part of, oh, this is where... I mean, I do, but I don't watch his streams. I just watch his shorts. I'm trying to... No. On. Pretty sure it wasn't here. It wasn't in our last show. Yeah, I didn't think so. It wasn't that old. Why can I not find this Reddit thread anymore? Oh. There it is. I finally found it. So this Reddit thread, it's like a month old. Kind of goes over basically the status of everyone currently in terms of like Switch 2 games. This is from like from a studio point of view. Basically just go, well, this team has done this. They're probably working on this. So like, for example, EDP3, they're the ones that did Tears of the Kingdom. And since there was no Tears of the Kingdom DLC, because they didn't feel like doing any, they're probably working on another Zelda title. They did co-develop Echoes of Wisdom with Grizo. I don't know. Tears is weird. It kind of feels like... Tears feels kind of like an expansion in and of itself, kind of in relation to Breath of the Wild. Like, Tears is a complicated little thing. Let's see. So, Breath of the Wild demo running on Switch 2 was at Gamescom last year. Well, 2 years ago, technically. Switch ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. EPD4 is the experimental team. That's your Labo, Ring Fit, Adventures, Switch ports, all those folks. Everybody 1-2 Switch was their most recent release, so they might be doing something. They probably will have like something like 1-2 Switch as a launch title for the Switch 2. Just some weird little party game of some kind. Oh, right, I forgot. The Switch Online playtest was theirs, which we haven't heard anything about since that private playtest. EPD5 is Animal Crossing, the Splatoon team. They just wrapped up Splatoon 3 with Side Order in February. They'll probably be putting out an Animal Crossing next, so I would expect an Animal Crossing before Splatoon. We are at the point where Splatoon 3 kind of isn't in the... We're just kind of like doing updates and stuff. We're not going to do anything big and new for Splatoon 3 at this point. So if we get a new Splatoon, it will be probably in maybe a year or two. EPD7 is the 2D Metroid crew, working with Mercury Steam. Famicom Detective Club games as well. Smiling Man came out in August. Possibly more of those Detective Club games, because I think they're selling well. We might get another one of those soon. Mercury Steam seems to possibly be working on a new 2D Metroid for next year, or for not next year, for this year. Ugh, don't mind me, I'm tired. I'm not reading right. They might have a second game in development. EPD8 is EPD Tokyo. They're the 3D Mario team, as well as the DK Jungle Beat and Captain Toad teams. They are clearly working on something. Rumor has it that it's a Donkey Kong game. Again, I point to Donkey Kong seems to have a very specific redesign in Mario Kart 8 or in Mario Kart 9. I wonder what that could be about. 9 is Mario Kart Arms, Nintendogs. Well, we know what they're working on. 10 is Pikmin in 2D Mario. Wonder was 2023. Pikmin 4 was also 2023. EPD 2 and 6. Not much on them, seems like. Let's see if there's anybody in the Monolith Soft. Are probably working on something. I know for the longest time right now, the rumor is Molosoft is working on remakes of the Xenosaga games. And those are going to come to Switch 2. That seems to be a prevalent rumor. The one person I follow that is very keyed into Monolith Soft's stuff. I don't think we would get a bunch of Mario games. I don't think we usually get a bunch of Mario games at one time, really. They usually spread those out. Like, Mario Kart 9. Okay, first of all, Mario Plus Rabbids is actually pretty good, as someone who's willing to spend those games. Secondly, I wouldn't worry about that. The head guy at Ubisoft that was running those games is not at Ubisoft anymore. And Ubisoft's got its own problems at the moment, so Mario Plus Rabbids is probably not getting a third game ever. Which is kind of sad, because those games were actually pretty good. But yeah, they're like... But yeah, there probably won't be another third Mario Plus Rabbids. Hello.
Hello.
I was going over the list of studios and stuff for Nintendo just to see if there was anything interesting. Granted, it's like a month old, so.
So we're doing bingo.
Odyssey bingo? I see.
Yep.
Okay. Password?
Oh, yeah.
Password?
Password is password.
I was like, oh,
also,
hey.
Don't show the card yet.
Oh, I'm on intermission, so. Oh, don't click to reveal card. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that. So, have you seen the Switch 2 reveal?
Yep.
How do you feel about the Switch 2 reveal?
I mean, that's a Switch 2.
Yeah. 1 second, I have to put Odyssey in the Switch.
If you're talking about the Joy-Con connectors, that's going to be the first thing that they have a problem with, because those things are going to break so easily. It's one of those, we all thought Joy-Con drift was a problem. Yeah, no, those connectors are going to be the problem.
That was why he's asking you about the connector for the Joy-Cons.
I answered.
Oh, okay. What did you say? Because I had my headphones off.
That's going to be the first thing that breaks so easily.
I think it'd be fine. I don't think you can really get.
Don't.
Oh.
I don't. That's going to be the first thing that breaks.
I feel like you can't get leverage on it. It's not easily.
You might not be able to get leverage on it to break it in the sense that you're thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
But the simple fact that it's a small piece of plastic that the Joy-Cons are going to be smacking repeatedly every time they're connected and disconnected, it's going to break.
Mm.
What they should have done should have been magnetic rails. Like some of the stuff we were seeing, that would have worked. Because, yeah, that. Exactly. I honestly don't understand why they shifted from the slide rails. Because I don't think the slide rails was why the Joy-Cons drift. It kind of feels like they took a step forward on trying to fix the Joy-Con problem to then take a step back by making a different connector now. Yeah, I agree with you. Any controller does get drift after a while. I've had Xbox controllers that have done the same thing. The Joy-Con drift is really bad. And, you know, when you've got Joy-Cons that started to drift and start reaching their 8-year point, yeah, that's when you really can tell the problem is. My Joy-Cons that were day one, I cannot use the left one, period, because it locks itself to the left.
I also assume it was because that's how people got into hacking the system. That they had to redesign the Joy-Cons to stop that from happening again.
No, they didn't, because any Switch made after, like, I'm wanting to say 8 months into development no longer had that problem.
Oh, yeah, right. You have to have a launch. Basically, a launch switch to
Yep.
be able to hack. I forgot about that.
That was a launch issue that they fixed afterwards.
Yes, there's a Switch
Yep.
Lite and a Switch OLED.
Which I think the OLED is pointless. The dock that came with the OLED's the only useful thing. The Switch Lite, I can kind of... The Switch Lite was portable only. It was smaller, more akin to like how a GBA was. The OLED just had a fancier screen. So if you use a Switch on a dock, it's kind of pointless. The only thing with the OLED was the dock had a Ethernet port. Yep. All three do the exact same thing. Have the same power and everything. I don't think the lights did. I might be wrong on that. And I don't know if any major issues out of OLEDs had anything. Most of the Joy-Con drift that everyone complained about was the launch switches. Because I got a set of, I think it was the Splatoon 2 Joy-Cons, and they're still working just perfectly fine.
Also, your bike's starting to pop real good.
Yeah, I saw.
It's like, it'll fix itself in a minute. It usually does.
Yep.
Oh.
But yeah, like the Joy-Con that came with Splatoon 2, I've not had any issues with it.
I use the Pro Controller, so I don't deal with that. That's a short and long I can contribute to this of like, I use a Pro controller. I don't have to worry about Joy-Con drift. My Joy-Cons have only ever came out of that thing for the rare occasion and like the couple of times I played Starlink, and never again. They've just remained in there.
So
Hell.
I can agree that the Switch 2 needed to be its own thing. Hence why they wanted to change the connector. Here's the fun thing though. I highly doubt all of the pins from the original Joy-Con were actually being used.
Mm-hmm. Does the BLT...
In the first gen Switches that could be jailbroken, all you're doing is shorten pins 7 and 10, I think it is. You're making a link between just 2 of the pins that the Joy-Con normally doesn't even touch. And that's how you're getting it to be able to bypass and get into the recovery mode, basically. So that makes me wonder how many of the pins actually are being used by the Joy-Con originally. They could have made the controllers function different, but still hook the same.
I would think it'd be easy enough to reverse engineer because you just need something to... You would need a... something...
You probably need to know how to solder and how to remap. Not necessarily buttons, but at least remap where those connectors lead.
Yeah. And if you make a thing that like just slots into the side of the Switch and basically just pops in there, you can just have that have the same rail as the Switch one. Do I need the BLTR and the bingo card at the bottom visible?
Do what?
The BLTR at the bottom of the bingo card. Does that need to be visible? That's not anything, is it?
I mean, you don't need to have anything on stream except for just the game.
Oh, okay, never mind. I've been sitting here making the bingo card visible on my end.
Uh-huh. Which is going to be what'll cause at least initial breaks, I have a feeling. Also, you push them to the side stream.
Not yet.
Okay. That's what I think will cause initial breaks, and that'll probably be what'll be seen within the first year. The question is, how durable are those, and will people that aren't actually just being a kid and jamming it together have before they start breaking on their own? Are we going to have another issue where normal use is going to turn into those connectors get broken or not is going to be the thing? Because bear in mind, the Joy-Con drift was from normal use. It was an oversight that they didn't realize kind of deal.
I just know I'm not personally worried about it because I'm getting a Pro controller as soon as I can, as soon as I get the console. It's be like, well, those Joy-Cons are never coming out of that port, so I'm not worried about that. I'll just have a Pro controller and just not take those Joy-Cons out. Ever.
Yeah, but what happens when there's no Pro controller at launch or anything?
Then it's a problem. I would assume. I would hope they'd be like, oh yeah, we're going to give you a Pro controller at launch. We're not crazy.
The smartest thing, truthfully, yes, there's an extra button on the Switch too, but the smartest thing would be allowed the Pro Controller just to be used between the Switch and Switch 2.
And I'm pretty sure that button
Just
is.
know that extra button cannot work on it, kind of deal.
I'm pretty sure that extra button is just Miiverse thing, apparently. Like some Miiverse adjacent thing.
It's not going to be Miiverse, that's for darn sure, because they decided to burn that with fire.
That's why I said Miiverse adjacent. It's supposed to be basically a social button. I.e., something like a lot of people are probably going to ignore.
We already kind of have that, though. That's what the capture button kind of also worked as.
I think it's supposed to do more than that, I think. I don't know. That's what I kept hearing.
I know one of the things that I was seeing was basically something akin to like the old school C buttons. But I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, we've got enough buttons on a controller. You wouldn't need a C button. The C buttons originally were there to give extra camera controls.
Mm-hmm.
The right stick has now took that over.
Yeah, and you have triggers and shoulder buttons, which that's basically what everybody treats a Z button as these days. If you do any type of emulation, is you just map those to a trigger.
Yeah. So that's one of those I don't see the reason from a functional point. So it has to be some kind of media based. The only other thing I can think of is maybe they're doing it to where, like, to capture clips on the Switch, you hold the capture button, but to take screenshots, you press it. Maybe they're splitting those functions.
Probably.
And if that's the case, then a Switch 1 Pro controller would work. Also, darn it, Nintendo, come up with some kind of original name for your successor. But if this legitimately is 3DS, new 3DS all over again.
But if they did that, then it's a Wii U situation, and everyone will bitch and moan about it that way.
But it worked.
But the Wii U sold like shit, and it has scared them senseless.
I know. So now they're going to copy the 3DS repeatedly.
Yes. The Wii U traumatized Nintendo as a company, and they do not want to be back in that position, especially because, that would put them on par with the other two big three of the industry right now, who are currently on fire and cannot dig themselves out of the live service hole they dug themselves in.
My thing that's worrying me with the Switch 2, we were getting all the rumors about backwards compatible with Switch games.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't getting that little asterisk at the end of that. Nintendo is now giving us that little asterisk at the end of it, meaning that this is running new infrastructure. And that all the backwards compatibility is going to be added in, much like Sony has had to do with their backwards compatibility stuff.
I was assuming it was very specific things, which is why they said that. Like, Ring Fit, you can't play Ring Fit on the Switch 2. Because the Joy-Con won't fit the ring. So the game's impossible to play on Switch 2. That's a very specific...
Except for if it was truly backwards compatible, then the Switch controllers, Joy-Cons included, would all be able to straight connect to the Switch 2.
Right.
Which would then eliminate that problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm like, and no, the way they worded it kind of makes it sound like they're only going to do a handful of games at launch and then start building it from there. And that's what's kind of making me worry about stuff then, because then what you've effectively just done is said when the Switch 2 comes out, the Switch is done. It's one of those, they probably should have clarified that a little bit more if they were going to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
or omitted it now and waited until the Switch 2 Direct. The fact that they kind of left it open like that, I have a funny feeling this is going to get people to either falsely pre-order the Switch 2 because they're afraid that their Switch is now obsolete, just for Nintendo to think they're going to have good numbers for everyone to cancel it when they find out something different. Or it's going to have people like me that are now hesitant on jumping on board with the Switch 2 because from what we had heard, they should have been running side by side like the 3DS stuff was, and now it's not looking that way. Because Nintendo did not come out with the new 3DS and say it can play 3DS games asterisk. It said it can play 3DS games. And I'm like, probably needed to clarify that a little bit there, guys. Just a little bit.
All they have to do is just not fuck this up. It's the lowest bar. They just don't have to fuck this up.
What's bad is they're already stumbling out the gate.
Fair.
In my opinion. Because, quite frankly, we know all the controllers for the Switch 2 are going to connect via Bluetooth. Every controller has been doing that for years now. So what's so fancy about the Switch 2 that the Switch 1 controllers can't connect to it? So that's the point where it's like I answered that one and I can understand, okay, then things like Switch Fit and all that, the ones that use the peripherals wouldn't be able to be played.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I see no reason why they can't.
Yeah, I got reminded today that you can technically play Starlink without the cradle.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah, you probably can't play Starlink without the cradle. And it's like, no, you can play that. And I'm like, right, I forgot. Like, the rest of the Star Fox DLC is digital only. Only like the R-Wing and Fox are physical toys.
Yep. And regardless, everything for Starlink, you can buy digital or physical. You technically don't have to have the physical for any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is funny that it bombed like it did because it should have had potential. I think it just came out at the worst possible time for the Toy to Life stuff.
Yeah. I'm also assuming like this will probably be the last console Switch puts or Nintendo puts out that supports Amiibo.
Maybe.
Because it's felt like they've really deprioritized Amiibo and like putting them out there and stuff. So like if there's ever a break point, it's now to be like, all right, no more Amiibo, but the Amiibo support is in Switch 2 as legacy for Switch 1 stuff. So like it will work for Smash, it will work for Odyssey and the like. But we're not, like, the next 3D Mario will not have Amiibo attached to it in any capacity.
No.
I say that, and then the Direct 2 is going to be like, here's Amiibo for, like, fucking Mario Kart 9. And I'm just going to sit there and go, well, never mind. I guess they still want to support Amiibo, just quietly in the background.
Also, I love that we know it is Mario Kart 9, but we're not verified with it yet.
24-player chaos.
Because it's one of those, we literally got footage for what at least should be Mario Kart 9. Don't get me wrong on that. If it's not, I would be surprised.
Yeah, because that track
But
does.
in all seriousness, it looks like it's still running the Mario Kart 8 engine. So who's to say this is not some kind of extended version of 8?
Yeah, because that not only is that a track that does not exist in 8, I think the track is the same design idea as a lot of the tour tracks that have been ported over to 8.
It kind of had that vibe. That's why I'm like, and for all intents and purposes, that should be 9. But it looks like it's running in 8's engine. And they didn't specifically say it was 9. Or 10, if you want to be that way with it. Because I still wouldn't put it past them saying, yeah, home circuit is 9.
I'm very suspicious of the new Donkey Kong design that they threw in there. That apparently is just a thing that they've been trying to rebrand to. But I'm like, something about him in that Mario Kart footage just makes me very suspicious of like, you would not change Donkey Kong's design randomly for Mario Kart of all fucking things. And then I look through the list of like current things with like Nintendo Studios and stuff. One of them is like, oh yeah, there's apparently a new Donkey Kong game in development at one of the EPDs, and I'm like, there's the connection. There's the reason.
Oh, I see you're ready.
Yeah. Well, you told me I didn't have to show the bingo card. It was like, oh, well, I spent that whole time while we were talking putting the bingo card on my side. For nothing.
I'm ready if you are then.
All right, I'll take the stream now. We'll be right back with an Odyssey bingo here in a second, folks.